Hello families, today is Friday, March 20th, and I want to give you a quick update. So we are continuing to remain open at the moment. I'm working very close with Stephanie Bivens. She's our Mesa County Early Childhood Consultant and is working very closely with the county on their COVID-19 task force. So we're going to continue to remain open and we'll continue to heed any warnings, recommendations, whether it be from the county, from the governor, what have you. So that's our current open status. But I think it's important that with all the information we're receiving, that we all have contingency plans in case they make that recommendation that centers close. Then we will follow those kinds of recommendations accordingly. So contingency plans are great, but that's our current status. I want to address a few other things. One is school agers and the school extension of the closure. So we were originally set to close or keep schools closed for 3 weeks through April 10th. Now it's 4 weeks based on the governor's order. So if you've communicated to us already that your child will be out through April 10th, we'll extend that 1 week unless we hear otherwise from you, and we'll just assume that your child will be out for that 4th week. We've had families that have talked to us about some of the homeschool learning and the remote learning opportunities that the elementary schools are wanting to put in place. So we know teachers will be back in on Monday, Tuesday, and we expect that they'll be sending out some lesson plans, maybe assignments, maybe some homeschool learning opportunities. So in our school age programs, we're going to work to incorporate some of that educational and learning opportunities for your kids. And you can help us by forwarding that to either fruitakids@gmail.com or grandjunctionkids@gmail.com so that we can give that to our school age staff so they can incorporate some of that into our lesson planning. But I want to be really clear that ultimately this is going to be your responsibility as a parent of a kindergarten or school ager or a district preschooler to be working with your child on those activities. If they have assignments due, that responsibility is going to be on you to make sure they get that done and turned in. We're going to try to be that supportive role for your children's learning over the next month and maybe through the rest of the school year. We'll see how that all transcends. So we have that going on. For our families that use CCAP, that are on child care assistance, I'll be continuing to monitor what comes down from DHS when it comes to parental fees and those kind of things. But one of the things, if you're a CCAP family and you communicate, and that is key, that you communicate with us. We sent this request out on Monday this week, and the deadline was today, Friday the 20th of March. If you communicate that your child is not going to be in our care through preschool, through school age, we express that we would not charge any absences. We're going to extend that for our toddlers also that are within CCAP. So if you have toddlers through school age, if you're on child care assistance, you've got to communicate to us. Today is the deadline. So that email and communication must be in our inbox by Monday morning. And if so, regardless of age, you will not be charged with absences over the next 4 weeks. And if we can extend that or have to extend that, we'll communicate that again in a later time. What that communication is going to do is help us with staffing. And as many of you have seen, we've already had many classrooms combined, or we've had less kids in our centers. And so one of the commitments that Kim and I are making is to work to figure out how we can help subsidize some of our families that have communicated that their child won't be in care with us, that are paying tuition right now to hold their spot, as is our policy. So over the next week, I'm going to begin to tallying up some of the money we've saved in payroll, and we want to take that money and be able to try our best to be able to help subsidize some payments. Again, I want to be clear for parents that have communicated their child is going to be out and that have been paying for tuition without their child in our care. So we want to be able to pass some of those savings on to help with those financial burdens. So that I expect to be figured out if and what we can do over the next week to be added on or sent out in the form of credits for the weeks to follow. That is our full intention with some of the payroll savings that we're going to be able to realize. What else here? Staffing, payroll. I think that's kind of all my notes there. So we'll continue to send out these emails. If you follow us on Facebook, and we'll put a link in our Facebook to our Facebook page in this email, please do that so that you can just get these alerts and then hit the notification on our Facebook as well. And that's a great way for us to communicate. Because we have Isabel, we're able to send out these emails that are very easily clickable links for you. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for all the great communication. Our admin's is doing great this week. And so I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, everyone.